Gotta say, man, how dare Drew Goddard mislead us into thinking we were gonna have a bad time at the El Royale? Because I had as damn good a time there as at the cabin in the woods.
Wait, you had a bad time at the El Royale? I loved it. I had a great time.
No. What?
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the horror show. I'm Cecil Laird.
I mean, Fuego here.
And we are here to talk all non-spoilery about bad times at the El Royale. There's an S, right? Bad times
exactly.
at the El Royale?
As in there's like a long experience of bad times there. And yeah, we got a decent amount
well,
of bad.
No, not necessarily. The El Royale has fallen on bad times
it
as
just
well.
Befalls the characters
bad
too.
Times
so.
at the El Royale. So it's the title can be taken a number of different ways, but yes, guys, we are here to talk about this movie almost a full 2 weeks ahead of its release.
Yeah, 11 days ahead. That shows studio faith, I would say. Fox is like, yeah,
Absolutely.
This could potentially be an Oscar contender, and I think it could.
Honestly, I do too.
Yeah, legit,
Here's the thing, guys. We're going to do our overall thoughts, story, acting, effects. Definitely, we're going to hit on the music. I love that we were right there on that one.
The music is a character in and of itself in this movie. And
here's
one
the thing, it's a period piece,
so much.
But, it's 70s.
But, I got late 60s, early 70s.
Early 70s. But they said it took place, parts of things we learned took place in the 60s. Mm-hmm. That meant that this had to be kind of at least early 70s, I believe.
Maybe, but
we'll see. I could be wrong.
I mean, you get shades of Vietnam, and you see Nixon, and just all kinds of different things like that. And yeah, you know, at least the general time frame, basically. I mean, I guess if you knew when Nixon gave that speech that they show in the film, then you would know exactly when this is supposed to take place.
That's true. Maybe I should have researched that ahead of time.
Oh well, hey, it's still off the cuff, man. And this movie, I thought was, if we're doing overall impressions, I'm going to jump ahead of you, and I'm going to say this movie was exceptional. I'm
so glad we agree on one.
It had such, I know, it doesn't happen as often lately, but dude, this was a throwback epic, in my opinion. It really was. It clocks in at like 2 hours and 20 minutes, but it
that long?
It doesn't feel that long. It does not feel that long. So that is in Tarantino territory as far as like weaving different stories and large groups of characters and stuff like that. Good. And for a second film that Drew Goddard has written and directed, he co-wrote Cabin in the Woods with Joss Whedon.
But he did direct it, right?
He did direct it, yeah. And then this was his own original idea. I thought it was based on a book. No, this is his thing. Mm-hmm. He sold this script to Fox, and they put an amazing...
This is going to win Best Original Screenplay, I guarantee.
At least, maybe, but, I mean... The cast of characters they put together, the amount of talent involved, they believed in this story, and for letting us see it as early as they did, they believe in this film, and I believe this movie was fantastic.
I believe I agree with you, sir.
Nice.
I was watching this movie, and this does not happen often, but this happened where we must have been 3/4 of the way through at this point, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm not falling asleep. I am enraptured in what's going on. I love every single one of these characters that I'm watching.
Written.
And I am so entranced with this movie. I could watch this forever. I don't have the thought where I'm literally literally taking a moment to step outside of my theater going experience and being like, I am really loving this movie.
I'm loving it.
And by the end,
it's not an El Royale with cheese.
This is definitely in my top 3 of the year. For sure. For sure, it's in my top 3 of the year. I want to make that list that I literally told Fuego before we watched the movie.
On it the entire year.
I want to make a list of I don't. So I want to put together the list.
I think is what it's called, and that's where I have a letterbox. Yeah, I have every single.
But this is going to definitely shoot up to the top 3. It was a masterclass in character-driven mystery suspense thriller.
Yeah, and ensemble.
Ensemble. Absolutely. I mean, it is literally. I say masterclass. I just want to say masterclass again because it is a masterclass in how to make a wonderfully suspenseful, production-rich, intriguing,
and not
character-driven,
either.
Completely character-driven. And my God, it was just so well done.
Agreed.
I am so excited that we got this, and I cannot wait for you guys all to see this. So
damn right, man. And that's an easy segue into the story, because the story is... It's the inner workings of everything, and the way they do give each character a significant spotlight moment. That the framing device of that I thought was really good.
This is Tarantino-esque.
Yes, and the fact that there's some scenes that overlap. There's without spoiling anything really. It's not.
It messes with time
a little bit, but not, it doesn't jump all over the place. Things
not
still
crazily.
Kind of.
It tracks. Everything tracks.
Yeah, and so if we're going to talk about it, you basically join the first two characters we see are the Jeff Bridges character and this aspiring singer who used to be. She's kind of fallen on some hard times herself, bad times, blah blah.
Aspiring backup singer.
Yes, but had dreams of the spotlight. And
Jeff Bridges and her, by the way, both deserve awards.
Great chemistry,
in my opinion.
And they had great chemistry anytime.
Great chemistry, but both of their their characters
just
singularly.
Continues, even in
Jeff Bridges is amazing. He blew my mind in this.
And this is where we're jumping into the acting maybe a little quicker, but. It's
so worth it though.
There's so many different elements that they blend here, besides the fact that it's a very accurately placed period piece with all of the references and stuff like that. You know, things going on of the time. You know, like FBI director intercourse, which I thought was really dope and stuff like that. And funny, right? But there's, as you've seen through the trailers, there's like Manson like cult leaders.
Sure.
There's you know, the amazing music of the era, which is a really big factor in the storytelling. But yeah,
let's track back to the story.
It's blended so well though, yeah. And
so these two people arrive at the El Royale, which the El Royale is apparently an old school kitschy motel in Lake Tahoe, right?
Well,
they say Tahoe.
Okay, presumably Tahoe.
Presumably Tahoe, because it's right down the Arizona-Nevada line.
Well, it's on the Nevada.
Sorry.
So the funny thing is, you can stay on separate halves of the hotel, and one half is on the California line, which is $1 more.
Well, no, and again, it's kitschy because on one half, you know, during the El Royale's heyday, half of the hotel you could gamble on, and then half of the hotel you could bask in the sunshine of California and stuff like that. Like, I was like, dude, I could see how this would be a successful thing, and this is apparently like a hidden gem that like all the big ballers would go to, and they have nice pictures on the wall. You know, Marilyn Monroe,
the Rat Pack,
all those guys have frequented the El Royale in this world, and it was just a really great setup.
It's so fascinating when you learn some more about the El Royale, you know, with the importance of people that would go through it, you know, that it's without spoiling anything. It's cool, the history and some of the, I guess, features of the place.
So those two arrive, and then the other guests
John Hamm,
arrive.
dude.
Well, they arrive, and John Hamm has already been there.
He's been chilling and waiting,
and
but
he
he's
was
the third
so
character that we
entertaining in this
meet.
movie.
He is terrific in this
so
movie,
entertaining.
Man. Yeah, legitimately, and just the accent and his character in that opening scene where he's making the coffee and everything, he basically is the one
salesman.
Well, it's almost like a monologue of him giving all the history of the hotel for the viewer, and he just kills it in that scene, man. He leads it so well, and you know, Jeff Bridges and the other young lady whose name I do not know because I hadn't seen her in anything previously. No. But I guess they were originally thinking of like a Beyonce or a big R&B name for the role, but they went with someone they felt was going to be a better actress in the suit and still had singing chops, and she's one of my favorite bits of this too. I can't wait until
shining light of this movie for
serious,
sure.
Dude. Big time.
But then we also meet the worker at the El Royale. The concierge, as it were, who also is the cook, who is also the maid, who is also he does everything.
He's the only staff member there.
Here's the thing: his character ends up being so much deeper than you ever give it credit for.
I didn't initially. In the first half of the movie, I was like,
wrote him off, right?
I totally did, and
God bless America. This movie was so good.
What an arc, man.
It's
a pretty damn good
so,
arc for that kid.
The characters arrive, and but we must say that the movie starts off with
the from the 50 Shades of
50
whatever
Shades
crap,
and Grey Freed and all that stuff.
Yeah, and you can tell she's a badass. She's got weapons,
she's
and
got
she's
questionable motives for things.
Exactly, without really saying much, but she's definitely playing the I'm a badass Southern girl, and I'm just here to
And we don't know why, we don't know what her deal is, but
you find out. But
it's interesting the way this movie hopped from character to character.
Yeah,
legitimately.
The framing,
because I thought that this person was going to be the main character, and then I thought that this person was going to be the main character, and then it turns out that this person's the main character, and I thought that was phenomenal, and
kind of kept you guessing too.
Yeah, so there's. Let's just suffice the story to say, because we don't want to get too far into the story. It's going to ruin things.
It will.
It's about unraveling the mysteries of the El Royale, as well as the mysteries of every single one of the characters.
Truly.
And it's told in an out-of-sequence framework. Barely out of sequence, though. So, like, you'll see something happen. The way it does it, and I'll tell you, the closest comparison is 4 Rooms.
Okay.
Because it literally will do the title card, Room 4. And Room 5 and Room 1, and then it'll tell the story of that character and how it ties in with the overall arc. And I love that stuff.
It was great.
We haven't.
I
feel like we don't get enough of it.
A little bit.
It does a little bit, but the way it ties together is so brilliant, and it is very Tarantino-esque. And this takes its time, but then it has flurries of violence that are just like, whoa, that was awesome. And especially one moment where the whole theater went, whoa!
One moment. That's something that I really have to say about the reaction to the beats of the story in this. All of the beats that were supposed to hit pretty much hit, and there was audience like loud interaction and reaction, and when everyone in the theater's like, what?
And there were more than a couple of times when the audience giggled because of tension breaking.
I know
thing.
I did.
Yeah, I was just like, oh. But at the same time,
and there was a lot of people way older than us in this screening.
Oh yeah,
way older critics.
But I will also say, I will not be ashamed to say that I definitely had to wipe my eyes towards the end of the movie, especially towards the end of the movie.
The third act third act got it, dude.
Whoa, and it comes out of freaking nowhere. Literally, you get blindsided by it, and I'm just like, God, this movie's brilliant. At every turn, it subverts your expectations.
And we're raising your expectations, obviously.
I defy you to go into this movie and being able to predict what's going to happen. I defy you to predict what's going to happen in this movie.
In a few specific bits, absolutely.
Well, I mean, there's an overall thing you might be able to guess, but the individual beats, you cannot tell where the movie's going to go from moment to moment to moment.
Yeah.
I love that.
I agree.
I absolutely love that. So, the acting itself.
Jeff
Bridges.
To bottom.
Jeff Bridges is another one. He almost
stellar, a standout. I mean,
brings so much emotion to the plate. And one scene in particular, I was like, I can't believe he's making me feel this way right now. He is so good. Yeah. And then you think things are different than they are, and you're like, wow, he's so good because he got me. But then later on, you're like, oh, wow, he's so good because he's really, and it's like, there was so much depth
so many
to his
layers,
character.
Man.
I
really
loved it.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I mean, going back to when I saw Starman as a kid, or even later stuff like Arlington Road, Crazy Heart, he continues to remind me how brilliant he is, even as he's getting farther up there in age.
He's absolutely one of my favorites.
I think he's in his 60s now. Maybe 60s, early 70s, something like that. But, I mean, even the remake of...
He's so amazing.
Remake of True Grit, I want to say.
Yeah, he was amazing in that. He absolutely deserves an Oscar. Specifically, Jeff Bridges deserves an Oscar in this movie.
I would definitely concur with that sentiment. Yeah.
100% he deserves an Oscar for this performance. God, the movie was just so enjoyable.
And dude, I have to say once again, I have to circle back to John Hamm, and he stole every scene he was in.
Amazing.
Every single scene.
Amazing.
When he first gets into his hotel room,
surprise in the movie too.
He does. And I love that scene where he's getting acquainted with his hotel room.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Oh, dude. Yes.
Awesome scene.
That was great. Yeah. And I will say this too. You can see in the poster there, when we get Chris Hemsworth. Chris Hemsworth really... Yeah, you're pointing the wrong way.
I still can't do it.
Chris Hemsworth is amazing in this.
Yeah.
He's finally not playing Thor, and
he's still showing off them abs.
He's showing off them abs, but this is his relaxed abs. These aren't these super chiseled abs.
No,
they were there.
No,
but they were his relaxed abs.
He looked like he was supposed to be more like just the
surfer dude.
Skinny toned surfer.
He was a surfer California guy.
Well, as you see in the trailers and stuff, he looks very.
But he got to spread his
kind
wings.
Of ominous.
I really loved his acting. He was legit
yeah.
unnerving in ways that nice guys can't pull off a lot of times.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's played like goofy comedic roles, and he's shown that he can
be funny.
Yeah, he's shown that he can be funny and stuff.
This
like
was not that.
And
this was
the Vacation remake. This was him doing something like I had not seen him in the past, you know. And
this was Deacon Frost from Blade.
Kinda, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm into it.
So yeah, he was so good, but and the reason I say that is because he's so enjoyable to watch. And like
he's a great looking dude, and he's
not
got
just that. The way he did his thing, he plays an American accent, which is really funny, knowing he's super Australian.
He's very Australian.
And you can tell he's like stretching at one or two syllables,
a little bit, but not.
But he was so good,
it was convincing.
So yes, the acting overall is impressive and amazing.
Yeah.
The cinematography.
Well, the girls. We have to mention the girls,
please, by all means. Let me not pass that by because obviously.
Yeah, this trying to regain some status singer girl who she's like
she was great,
one of the, if not the lead female. I mean, like
she was the lead female.
She was pretty much yeah. God, such vulnerability and just really emotionally hitting scenes, but showing some strength, showing
super
some grit,
huge
dude.
Acting chops.
And she can sing too.
That chick could do, and I'm not talking to body type here, but she could do an Aretha Franklin biopic amazingly.
I feel you. Yeah.
Amazingly.
Well, especially the way that she just owns this era,
and
she's
so.
And everything
not only that
within it musically. I mean,
I don't want to keep interrupting.
No, you're good. You're good. And then she just really impressed the hell out of me, and I'm very curious what she has done previously. If she does have a musical background, how much she had acted, before this and whatnot.
There's a scene that she is essentially a human jukebox, where she is cycling through songs, trying to sing different ones.
Her practice regimen.
Yeah, and she's like, I'm gonna sing this, and then she hums a few bars or goes through a few bars and doesn't like how she's doing it, so she switches songs. And I'm like, my God, if I could find a woman that could do that and just like lull me to sleep every night, like she was angelic in her portrayal of this character,
and
in my opinion.
It's so much
crazy good.
It's so much great Motown and various other stuff from the era, which we'll get into. But you know what? Who I was forced, and I have admitted this on the channel before, to watching the first 50 Shades movie. Dakota Johnson, I thought, was good in this.
She was pretty good.
As was the younger sister.
She looked like she could. We're not going to say too much about what happens, but she looked surprisingly like she worked for that role very, very, very well. And all I knew her as is the girl that gets seduced by Christian Grey. I've never watched the movies. I've never read the books. All I knew is that she's the girl that gets seduced by Christian Grey.
They're scary in a different way, dude.
So, but she owned this role, and
she
was reminiscent a little bit of, I will say, there was a little bit of Alexandra Daddario to her.
Okay.
Where there's like some strength, but she's super gorgeous too. But there was a bit more wildness to her. I don't know quite how to explain it.
Well,
she did a great job.
It was the whole Southern
I guess
angle,
the best way to say
too.
it.
Yeah. That's sass.
Everyone's a bit Southern in this one.
Yeah. No, even that. I mean, no, I guess not the particular character I'm thinking of, but the Boots, as they called her.
Boots didn't really play super Southern.
No, not so much. I mean, maybe with the twang.
A little bit
with that. But that's a charter that is a bit darker than I was expecting to be and stuff like that, too. So we can't really...
But that Boots' introduction, which was another character's introduction at the same time, was so well done.
Yeah. Especially the way it was
weirdly
lit and shot and
yeah.
Which I guess is probably a good segue into just the visual look of this film. The lighting, the camera moving so well when it was needed to, but yet also this cold opening scene where it's just like the same camera shot pretty much, and there's no dialogue.
Speeding up time sometimes.
Gosh, man, and just stuff that you see in the trailer.
And it ends like literally the scene gets right in your face by the end of it, and you're like,
oh yeah.
Jesus. You're sitting here watching a scene intently, and you're almost leaning in, and all of a sudden you're like, God, what?
Yeah. And the scene with the field of flowers, man. And,
that was gorgeous.
That was just beautiful looking.
And that was so messianic. Like, I really...
It's the vibe that
there's a lot of godly tie-ins in this movie, I will say, guys.
Well, I mean, yeah, you've got Jeff Bridges, you know, as a priest.
He's a priest, yeah. But there was even more than that, which I loved.
Oh, well, it was, like, right in your face and then also subtextual and, you know...
Well, and especially towards the end.
Abstract and metaphorical. So, yeah, no, the ending of this movie. Yeah,
I think I saw you tearing up at the same time.
A little bit.
There had to be a scene that was striking a chord with you specifically.
Yeah.
From your background and stuff.
Yeah.
Like I was feeling that for you because I have that in my background too. I have I went to mass
and that scene
from K through 8 twice a week.
And
that's a lot of mass for a person to go to.
Shot so well with like the little fire, like I don't know what you would call them, like going on, because there's almost like, you know, lighting these little campfire type things like inside the lobby.
Yeah, like fire pits.
Fire pits, exactly. Yeah. That's the word I'm looking for. So it's like fresh wood and everything, and they light the scene with that. And it's
so effective.
Yeah, and there's some conflict that goes down.
Yeah, the production design of the El Royale is amazing. Yeah, especially with the dividing line. I love the dividing line. Exactly. And that opening...
Without divulging what it is.
The opening, it's... well, no, we did. We said that the kitsch of the hotel is it's both in Nevada and California.
I was thinking of a different dividing line.
Oh, no, I wasn't going there.
There's different dividing lines.
No, but it's fun because Jeff Bridges and the other lead, the female lead, have that back and forth. He's like, so what's it like in Nevada nowadays? And she's like, well... And she turns around and then the camera goes way up high behind her. And it's like exactly the same. She's like, what's it like in California? He's like, well... And then the camera goes way up high behind him, but the exact same angle. Like, that is all really good... tie together sort of world-building cinematography. True. This movie was just masterfully crafted.
Indeed, especially for it only being Drew Goddard's second directorial thing, man. And I mean, once again, we said he co-wrote, you know.
Cabin in the Woods is one of my favorite horror movies too.
Same. It's supremely meta, so amazing. I can't recommend that film enough, and I can't recommend this one enough.
Here's what I'll say. I better not have to wait the amount of years that I waited between Cabin in the Woods and this to get another goddamn Drew Goddard movie.
Well, I mean, remember Cabin in the Woods took forever to even be released. It was finished, and then there's distribution issues, and I think
this is going to change that. This is going to change that. This is going to get that Oscar buzz.
This is a game changer for him. His career has gone from here and being like a cult guy to This is gonna explode
him. 100%, it's gonna explode him, and with good reason.
Exactly, and honestly, one of the biggest things that he had to have had a hand in was how heavily involved music was in this movie, man. Music is pretty much, like we said, its own character in and of itself because it drives so many scenes, especially when there's no dialogue going on and yet characters are singing.
From the very first scene, when the guy walks in and puts on the little radio in the room. Yeah. Like, they make a huge thing. Like, he goes in and he tunes the radio for a couple of seconds. Nick Offerman, yeah. And he tunes the radio for a couple of seconds, and then he finally settles on a song, and then the rest of the scene plays out to the song, and then
kind of like
so many scenes play out to songs that are literally thrown on the jukebox in the main room of the El Royale. Yeah. Either that, or the music is dictated by the singing of this girl, which also
she's doing
like
her voice.
Led some scenes, and it was like there's a scene that involves her singing that is so like tense and like involves some secretive things going on,
and it hand claps, dude.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Like I was like, dude, that is so good. It is such smart filmmaking and such smart storytelling.
Great writing and storytelling, but yet an effective implementation of music in a different way than you would expect for the narrative,
and yet
or even for the scene, and yet
still squarely down the Tarantino bowling lane. You know what I mean?
Especially
like
with
all of it.
Well, especially with the choice of music, and you know how Tarantino, with something like Pulp Fiction, had such an amazing soundtrack of just, I don't know, that was a very 90s film, I guess, but it wasn't like current music. You know, it was definitely throwback to 50s, 60s, and some 70s stuff. This stayed with things in the few years around when it's taken place, but. damn, every single bit, whether it was hearing, the Four Tops or whether it was hearing, Isley Brothers.
The Isley Brothers,
all it's such good stuff, constant and throughout. And if you're into anything Motown, which I adore,
you're gonna love it.
adore my Motown music. There's an
and then let me also say this though. This is one of the most satisfying endings of a movie. Like, for a movie that you enjoy so much, there are tons of movies out there that you can enjoy for so long, and then the ending crumbles. Yeah. But this one is it ends so beautifully and so satisfyingly. Like, and like it is a multi-tiered denouement. Like the last act is like, big stuff happens, and then bigger stuff happens, and then there's more, and then like
it's trying to outdo itself, and it does a damn good job of it.
It does, and you think it gets to the point where, like, to use a Kevin Smithism, you
almost start to think, you're like, wait,
to use a Kevin Smithism, it's like if okay, no, I'm not gonna get that gross. It's as if someone keeps doing something after you've already finished something, and it's like just too much. So that's how I'm going to say that.
That is funny. I'm remembering your references.
Yes, but it's enjoyable nonetheless.
Yes.
All right. I think that's as good a place to end this as
I suppose so.
With.
Yeah. Can we finish? Can I finish?
Can I finish? I think I just did.
Okay, I'm finished.
All right. So let us know in the comments down below, guys. Are you excited to watch Bad Times at the El Royale? It is absolutely not that. It is a fantastic time at the El Royale, if you ask me, or Fuego.
Yeah, if you El Royale when you're not wanting the El Royale with cheese, you're gonna have a bad time. I don't know. I tried.
Don't know what.
I was trying to quote some South Park. It just went terribly.
Nope,
you're gonna have a bad time. No, it's gonna be a tremendous time. This movie's badass, dude.
This is fantastic. Let us know in the comments down below if you guys are excited about it. While you're down there, click the link in the description box for our Patreon. You can join the ranks of our patrons. You can also, if you become a certain tier, you can join us on a monthly live stream, a monthly Hail to Stephen King, or you can actually tell us what movies to review or do Let's Plays of, things like that.
We're actually
going to be doing a bunch of catch-up after we get through October and all of our Halloween stuff. We're going to be cruising through all of our Patreon requests shortly after that. So please join the ranks if you are so inclined. Thank you very much if you do so. Until next time, though, I've been Cecil Laird.
Ben Fuego.
Make sure you go have yourself a badass time at the El Royale.
That's what we were searching for this whole time.
And remember, guys, stay scared.